Hello and welcome to Rainbow Magician Tarot. My name is Mary. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to be attempting to do a much shorter video than I normally do. I know it's been a while since I've posted a tarot video. I've been just going through some things, but it's all good. We're okay. And I wanted to get something out there since it's been like 2 or 3 weeks. So this one is going to be hopefully shorter than usual because I don't have a lot of time tonight. But the theme of this video is going to be like kind of like what is your life story been? Like, what is the major themes that have been going on in your life, and like what the fuck are you supposed to do about them? So kind of a big topic, but I'm gonna kind of do it like a snapshot of it rather than like in depth, if that makes sense. But I don't know, I was inspired to do this because I've been just thinking a lot about stories lately. I've been reading a lot of stories and watching a lot of stories and writing stories, and I just think that the way that we process our own life is through stories. And so I think it'd be interesting to see like what is kind of the story of your life that you've been telling yourself thus far. And what is the shit in your life that you're sick of? Like, what have you been through? What are you fucking sick of having to go through again and again? And what can you do from here? That's gonna be kind of the theme. I'm probably gonna curse a lot in this video because it's just the mood I'm in right now. So, you know, if you're down for that, if not, that's fine. You can watch another video. But yeah, we're just gonna kind of be like, no bullshit. What's the shit that you've like been going through, and what the fuck are you supposed to do about it? That's what the theme of this video is. Yeah, let me see, do I have any other announcements? I have merch on my Redbubble. This is one of my artworks that I'm selling there. You can see, very nice quality shirt. I actually cropped this one, but it actually is a really good quality t-shirt. So check out my Redbubble store for other merch with some of my art on it. I'm also sell readings on Etsy, so you can check those out. I have a writing blog that I just started, which I'll be posting more on. Follow me on Instagram, all of the things. I'll link it all in the description below. But without further ado, we'll get started. We'll do 3 groups. Just pick with your intuition, whatever calls out to you, and we'll get into it. Thank you. Okay, so I actually decided that I didn't want to do piles because I just don't feel like trying to film piles and make them look nice. So I'm just gonna hold up crystals to represent each group, okay? So if you want group number 1, it will be this clear quartz point. Okay. So this will be group number 1, clear quartz. Group number 2 will be this, there's a hair on it, this piece of orange calcite. There's still a hair on it. Which looks like a tangerine slice. Ooh, it kind of matches my shirt, like the oranges. Okay. So this will be group 2. Okay. And then group 3 will be this piece of ocean jasper. Okay. So, again, this is group 1, clear quartz, group 2, orange calcite, and group 3, ocean jasper. I'll try to hold them all up at the same time. If you need to pause the video to meditate on them, you can do that. Sorry, I don't have piles. Again, I'm just really lazy tonight, so you'll just have to forgive me. Alright, so choose your crystal and then we'll go to the timestamps. Alright. Okay, so group 1, clear quartz. This is the reading for you, so I'm going to shuffle the cards and shuffle and draw the cards as we go along, because I literally did no preparation for this video. We're just kind of making it up as we go. I'm using this deck, Maggie Stiefvater's with the Raven Prophecy Tarot. I really love Maggie Stiefvater's books. I'm a really big fan of the Raven Cycle series. Highly recommend it if you want a good book series to read. But yeah, let's get into it. Okay. Oh, that's coming out. Okay, we'll just do 4 cards, I think. Literally just making this shit up as I go. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. 2. Do you want those? Okay, that'll be 3 and 4. Okay, so group 1, your life story told in 4 cards. So the first card, I think, is going to be who are you? What have you been through? What is the major struggles of or just the major course of your life so far? Card 2 will be what is the major antagonistic force in your life then so far? Card 3 will be what have you been doing thus far to manage this and deal with this, and how has it not been working? And then card 4 will be what is your choice from this point forward, okay? So card 1, what has been the major theme or archetype of your life so far? We have the Lovers. Okay, so I feel like the major themes of your life so far has been around partnerships and around romance or relationships, trying to find your other half, trying to find that part of you that you feel like is missing somehow. Yeah, it's like you feel like an incomplete person on your own. It's like you're always trying to find that person to fill in your gaps. You're always trying to find that person who will compliment you. And there's this kind of pain around having forced separation with people who you were connected with. And that is very painful, and you can probably trace that back to some kind of event that happened, some original wounding where you were connected with someone and then had a forced separation that was really painful, and then this leads to this whole cycle where it keeps happening and it keeps happening, because that's how life works, isn't it? And so you're always looking for this union where you feel connected and you feel like someone is there to kind of fill in your gaps and make you feel whole and complete. And that is a very natural desire for you to have, and it's not wrong, and it's not something that you shouldn't have, right? But it is also reflecting that that there's a part of yourself that you feel like you can't have unless you're with someone else. It's like you can't really feel like there's a part of yourself that you feel like you've lost, and not just someone else, if that makes sense. It's like you've lost people who are important to you, but you've also lost parts of yourself along the way. And so you're really just kind of looking for this sense of completeness. And it is something that you are going to need other people to help you find, but ultimately comes from finding acceptance of yourself and finding a way to feel all of yourself, you know, like the light and the dark aspects of yourself. It's like you need other people to make you feel accepted of like the more negative parts of yourself. You're always looking for that person to kind of accept those parts of you because you feel like you can't really accept them in yourself. So there's kind of a struggle here, right? Because it's like you're kind of forced to be entwined with people in order to feel like a whole person. And so this like enmeshment happens where you can't really be just yourself. You always have to be yourself, like enmeshed with someone else. And that can lead to a lot of struggle and pain because it's like you want to figure out who you are and what you want to do with your life, but it's like this void happens when you're alone and you feel like you don't know who you are. And that's very painful. So let's look at what the main antagonist is in your life. And we have the moon reversed. Okay. So it's this raven trying to swallow the moon here. Almost like it's choking on it. Almost like there's things that you can't really swallow about yourself. Again, the moon can kind of represent the shadowy parts of yourself. There's things that you can't really swallow about yourself, aspects you can't really swallow, truth you can't really swallow, things you don't want to say, things you don't want people to know. There's like yeah, it's like this kind of almost surreal quality of like fear of the unknown almost, or like you want to contain, like you want your truth to be contained, you want your self to be contained by another person, but it's almost like it's too much to be or it feels like it's too difficult for people to swallow. So I feel like the main antagonist in your life is it's gonna sound corny probably, but it is yourself. I mean, it's probably going to be the same for every group, to be honest, but it's yourself. It's, it's the difficulty that you feel when you try to get others to understand you. I feel like there's this pain of being misunderstood, or of like your truth isn't something that people can easily swallow or easily understand. It's not easily illuminated. It's like you're always kind of like, no matter how many people you're with, you know, while you're with them, you feel like you are known and you are like kind of safe, but it's like there's always more, you know, it's like there's always more difficult shit to swallow, always more truth to behold, and I feel like you're trying to contain yourself and make yourself smaller for other people. You're trying to like compile your truth into this tight little ball to make it easy for other people to swallow it, and it's not really working. So I feel like the antagonist of your life is your kind of like your expansiveness, like the full truth of who you are. It's like you can't really be pinned down, you know. It's like you're always going to have a shadow side. You're always going to have something that's unknown about you, and there's always going to be this mysterious quality to you. Like the moon is kind of mysterious, but that makes you feel threatened because it makes you feel like you won't ever be able to be fully contained by someone. You won't ever be able to be like fully accepted or known by someone. So there's kind of this resentment or resistance to your own qualities. Okay. And trying to make yourself smaller, trying to make yourself digestible to other people. It's like it's so difficult for you to gain this sense of clarity and like hold on to it, because the moon goes through phases, right? It's always shifting. It's never like, it doesn't stay the full moon, it doesn't stay a new moon. Like it's going through phases and it's shifting, and it's like hard for people to understand that about you. So, you know, the main antagonistic force in your life is just the fact that people can't really understand the way that you are, and they're trying to put you into a box, and it doesn't really work. Okay. And then the next card, what you've been doing so far, right? We have the 7 of coins. So you've been feeling trapped for some time, but it's like you're just trying to kind of grow around your prison bars, you know? It's like you're just kind of, like you're finding a way to kind of seep through the gaps and the traps that you're put in, over and over again, of feeling like you're forced to be a certain way, feeling like you have to like figure it out, and this is like the end all be all of who you are, feeling like you have to, you know, make yourself into a certain, fit yourself into a certain box in order to be loved by someone, and it's like you can't really break out of this trap. So instead you've just tried to kind of grow around it. You've tried to kind of sidestep around these boxes that you've been put in, that you've put yourself in, instead of breaking out of them altogether. It's just like, well, let me just see how I can work with it, you know. And that's not an inherently bad strategy to use. It was probably something that has benefited you a lot in many circumstances, but it's almost like you're getting kind of tired, you know. It's like there's only so much more you can wrap yourself around these bars before it's like, okay, I need to go somewhere else. So I feel like you're getting tired of restraining yourself, and it's not really working anymore. And, you know, constantly trying to put yourself into a box, trying to make yourself fully fit into one thing, one description of yourself. It's like, that's not really working, you know, and you can't really do it anymore, because you can't really help the fact that you want to grow, and you want to expand, and you want to explore, and you want to live. I mean, that's what these flowers represent, right? It's like life growing in spite of hardships. Like, you want to live, you want to grow, but it's like you've been trying really hard to put yourself into some category, or, you know, make yourself similar to other people. I feel like that's also kind of what this is. This kind of like enmeshment trauma. Like, you're trying to be what someone else wants you to be instead of being yourself, and it's not really working for you anymore, and I think you're tired of it, and I would be too. Okay, so last card, what are you going to do from here? We have the Three of Wands. Okay. And look, we have the same full moon in the background, and this time it's not. This time the crow isn't trying to swallow it, right? It's not trying to like contain it. It's not trying to cover it up. It's just kind of watching it. It's just kind of observing it, right? It's just there. It's like, yeah, this is who I am. I'm this full moon. I can't be contained. I can't be swallowed. You know, I'm always shifting. I'm always changing. Okay? And this Three of Wands, it kind of looks like, almost like, I don't know if this is what it's supposed to be, but it kind of looks like a shelter or like a fire that could be lit there. So it's like you have to make a home somewhere where you can be your fullest self. You have to make a home somewhere where you're not going to be trapped. You have to make a home somewhere where you can, you know, shine as brightly as you want to shine, or be as dark as you want to be dark. Like, whatever mood you're in, you know. I feel like you're someone who can't really be defined. Like, you are constantly shifting and changing, and that's okay, right? And so you need to be able to find a home where it's okay to be expansive and to be someone who can shift and change. It doesn't have to be tied down to any one thing, okay? And if you can kind of step back and observe the truth of yourself instead of trying to pin it down, I think that's what you've been trying to do. It's like you've been trying to like pinpoint it, like, this is who I am, this is what I've been through. And it's like every time you try to put a pin in it, it doesn't work, right? Because it's like you're never going to pin it down. You're never going to get this one all-inclusive answer as to who you are. So it's like, stop trying, you know, and instead just kind of observe yourself as you go through these phases, as you shift and change. And, you know, wherever you are, it's like, try to make a home wherever you are. You know, it's like, this is kind of like a little makeshift, like, hearth, it looks like if you're out in the woods, you find a place, you make a fire. You know what I mean? It's like you don't have to be settled down into like one place forever. It's like wherever you are for that specific moment, for that one little moment in time, you're there, you're safe, you're making it your own, right? And then you understand that as you change, you're gonna have to kind of be able to move, and like be willing to make decisions that enable you to have movement and explore and go wherever it is you want to go. But it's like you're kind of done with this energy of having to force yourself to stay somewhere where you're going to be held back, okay? And it doesn't mean that you have to be alone, right? It doesn't mean that you have to be alone. We have the Three of Wands. You know, that's the number of 3, which is the number of community and collaboration. So you don't have to be alone when you're doing this, but it's like you can find other people who can kind of like almost like travel with you as you like discover yourself, so that you don't have to be tied down to like one person who's going to hold you back, right? So I feel like it's almost more beneficial for you to like find like a group of people to kind of support you versus like relying on one person to kind of complete you or complement you, because I feel like that's what you've been doing and it's not really working. So if you're someone who has like been in a lot of relationships, for example, and you know, if you're not in one right now, it might benefit you to like stay single for a while, but to like reach out and find support through friends or community in other ways, so that you can like gain a healthy sense of independence where you're still with other people. It's like you're not completely alone or independent. It's more like interdependence, but you're no longer like enmeshed with someone else, okay? So I hope that you enjoyed that group 1. I'm gonna stop the reading there because this is already a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but it's all good. I hope that you enjoyed, and please like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I will see you very soon again in another video. Goodbye. Okay, so group 2, you guys chose the orange calcite. Okay, so just like group 1, I'll take a drink real fast. Just like group 1, I'm gonna pull the cards as we go, or right now, I guess. I'm using these cards called the Raven's Prophecy Tarot by Maggie Stiefvater, who's one of my favorite authors. I highly recommend her series, The Raven Cycle. It's one of my favorite books. But we'll draw your cards. So I'm gonna draw 4 cards. 1. Okay, I don't know what order you want me to put those in, but we'll do 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So group 2, what is the story of your life thus far? All of your cards came out in reverse. Okay, so this first card is like who you are, what the main theme of your story has been so far, and we have the Page of Wands reversed. Okay, so we have this match that's caught on fire. So I feel like the story of your life so far has been that you seemingly lose your passion kind of again and again. It's like your spark keeps kind of going out. Since this is in reverse, it's like you're someone who can kind of easily get inspired and get new ideas, but it's like almost they're kind of fragile, you know. It's like this passion that you get, it'll like ignite for a second, but then it'll go out. It's kind of like you're constantly met with like disappointment, or just like things not really panning out. It's like you're really good at starting things but not finishing them. A lot of like inspiration but not a lot of like action, you know what I mean? I feel like that's kind of how you've been, how your life has been for the most part. It's like things keep starting but they never quite finish, or there's like a spark of an idea or spark of passion but it kind of dies, and it's kind of like this constant disappointment that you're kind of met with over and over again, and it feels like you're like, am I ever gonna get anywhere? Because it's like seems like you just keep starting at square one. It's like you never really progress past that point, is what it feels like to you. Okay, so the second card is your the main antagonist of your life so far, the main antagonistic force. We have the Six of Wands in reverse. Okay, so this is in reverse. Very interesting. Okay, there's a lot of fiery energy in these cards. Main antagonistic force in your life is that there's never like I feel like people who like mislead you, or like it feels like you have had many times where there's been like you've seen your path ahead of you, right? It's like you have a spark and you've seen your path ahead of you, but then it's like, just kidding, like that wasn't the right way to go. So it feels like there's people who have kind of like duped you in a way, or like misled you, and it feels like the main antagonistic force in your life has been people, or maybe someone in particular, who feels like they kind of, like, they seem to lead the way for you. It's like they seem to be someone who can like ignite your passion, your spark, but then they turn out to kind of let you down, or it's like they don't go with you all the way. It's like you kind of want someone to lead you into this dark path, but it's like they stop after a certain point, and it's like now you gotta figure this shit out on your own, and you don't know what the hell you're doing. So it's like this lack of guidance, I feel like, which is kind of the antagonistic force in your life. It's almost like it's not really a force as much as like a lack of something. It's like instead of having someone against you, it's almost like it's just that there's not anyone there to like help you, you know. It's like they help you at first and then they kind of like leave. It's like you have an idea, you have a spark for something you want to do, say for instance like something you want to create, and it's like, oh, there's these people and things to help me, but then they like kind of fade out, or like, you know, they weren't as helpful as you thought they were going to be, and then you're kind of like left all alone and unsupported. Or it could be to do with like relationships, like, oh, I have this spark, I feel this passion, and it's going well until it kind of fades out, and then you're like, okay, what do I do from here? Where do I go from here? So it's almost like the antagonist is kind of like this lack of support, or this lack of guidance to guide you through this like dark path and like help you see where the fuck you're going. It feels like you keep being blinded over and over again. It's like you see the way for like half a second, and then you're like walking, and then all the lights go out, and you're like, what the fuck? So it's like, how am I supposed to figure out where to go, you know? I feel like that's the biggest struggle that you've faced so far. Okay. And then the third card is what you've been doing so far to deal with this, okay? And we have the Hierophant reversed. So look at all this fire, all this light imagery, right? With the Hierophant, this is all about that light, right? That inner light. But I feel like you're really frustrated with that. Like you're really frustrated with people telling you to follow your inner light. You're like, shut the fuck up. I'm tired of that shit. I'm tired of having to figure it out on my own. I'm fucking tired. And you know what? I fucking hear you. I understand that shit, okay? Like, you want someone to just guide the way a little bit. It's like all of this talk about like, just, you know, look on the inside and you'll find all the answers. It's like, it's annoying. It's really annoying to hear that. It is, okay? And there is some truth to it. There definitely is. But it's annoying. And I'm not gonna just regurgitate some of that same old bullshit that you've probably heard over and over again, okay? But what you have been doing thus far is I feel like you do, to a certain extent, try to like figure your shit out and like keep yourself going, keep your flame lit, right? But it's like there's still a frustration because it feels like you still have to do all the work. It's like, it feels like, you know, like, okay, I'm gonna light my own fire, but like, and then what? And then who's gonna be there, you know? But I feel like what's happening is that you're still not really progressing past this like little spark of inspiration, this little spark of clarity of, oh, I know what I'm gonna do, right? This little spark of, oh, I can do it. It's like you have that idea and then you get it in your head that you have to do it all alone from that point, and that's not what you need to do, okay? It's like once you get this spark, this idea of, oh, this is what I'm gonna do, this is how I'm gonna change my life, it's like then that you use that to find other people, okay? Look at these other lights, right? This is It's like you gotta ignite your own spark so that you can find the other lights, so that you can find the other people. But it's like you're igniting your own spark and then it dies out because that's all you do. You don't actually, like, you don't actually find the other people who are going to keep it going, right? You can't sustain yourself on your own. You can't, and maybe you've tried, and that's why you're really frustrated and you're really annoyed, because it's like, I've fucking tried to be there for myself and help myself and do all of these things for myself. And I'm tired, and I can't just, like, be the only person who gives a shit about me. And you can't, and you shouldn't, because that's fucked up. You should not be the only person who gives a shit about you. You should have other people in your life who can keep you going. But your problem is that you're either too dependent on them, where you give all of the power over to them, and then you're left in the dark, or you ignite your own spark for like a second, you know, and like you're lit up and you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this, but then you get it in your head that you have to do it alone, and it's like neither of those things are true. It's like you have to light your own spark, keep yourself going, so that you can find those people who can then keep you going, if that makes sense. It's like you're not supposed to do it all on your own forever. It's just sometimes you get into situations where you do have to trust yourself, you do have to rely on your own instincts, you do have to find the will to go on within yourself, and you have to find that inspiration and that spark within yourself. But the purpose of that is so that you can then reach out to other people, and then you ignite them and they ignite you, and then it's like a big collective fire, and you're not just walking the path all by yourself, okay? I'm sorry for getting very passionate in this video. Like I said, I'm just in a mood right now, but this is what you get, okay? But yeah, so you ignite your own spark, you get your own clarity, and then you use that to connect with other people so that they can then support you. So it's not just you all alone. It's not just find the answers within yourself and that's all you have to do. Fuck that. You find what you need to find within yourself, and then you use that and you go to other people and you say, this is what I found out, can you help me? Okay? Okay. The last card is supposed to be advice for what to do now. I feel like I kind of just covered that in this card, but we'll keep going. Okay, we have Queen of Cups reversed. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna have to let some things go, right? You're gonna have to let some things shed. Let these feathers shed that don't work anymore, okay? These identities. And you're gonna have to like listen to your emotion, tell the truth about how you feel, okay? Tell the full truth, right? I feel like you haven't been telling the full truth, and that's why this is in reverse. You haven't been telling the full truth of how you feel to people. It's like you only kind of give them a little sliver of yourself, right? Only like a little sliver of your truth, only a little sliver of how you feel. And so that's why it feels like you're alone. It's because you have this spark, this passion, or this inspiration, but you don't really give all of it, you know, you don't really let all of it be seen. You keep it hidden or protected in a way. You don't really tell your full truth about how you feel, and so you feel like there's no one there to like really help you or understand you. And so you're gonna have to be willing to give up a little bit of the control that you've maybe been wanting to have over yourself and your life, or just like the control over how people perceive you. You're gonna have to be willing to let some shit go, okay? You're gonna have to be willing to let some feathers fall and let yourself be vulnerable, because I feel like you've been through a lot of shit. Like you've been through a lot of pain and you've found a way to get through it. Like you've found a way to, you know, keep flying after all of that. But then it's like at the end of that, you're still alone. So at the end of that, it's like you're gonna have to let some of those feathers fall, and it's gonna hurt, because you're gonna be like, why did I go through all of that on my own, only to like just kind of have to let it go and, you know, let it kind of like let go of the meaning of whatever you assign to that experience. But that's kind of what you have to do in order to move forward. You have to let go of all of the meaning that you've given to every experience you've had in your life so far. Just like let it go. All of the meaning, everything, just let it go. Start over as best you can, okay? And that's not to say that you have to forget about everything that's happened, but just like kind of imagine that you're just like starting from scratch with like the meaning that you've added to everything in your life. You still know what's happened, the events are still there, but you're just like, fuck all of the meaning that I've added to any of that, okay? I'm just gonna start over, okay? Start from the beginning. Start from the beginning, retell your whole story, minus all of the meaning that you've added to it so far, and then see what meaning you can add to it now that's maybe a little bit less painful. And it's going to require you to shed some beliefs and shed some old things, and it's going to be painful. But if you do what I said in this card and you use that spark that you have that keeps you going, and you use that to reach out to other people, and you let them witness who you are, okay? Your truth is like the moon, right? You're trying to show who you are. You have to let it be witnessed. And that means you have to tell the whole truth. And it's gonna hurt because there's gonna be some things that you feel like you can't really explain. But I feel like that's just because you've added this meaning to it that no one can understand you. But if you kind of get rid of that meaning and you just relay what the raw experience was, then you will be able to get a lot more clarity, okay? And you will be able to get that understanding, okay? But you have to be willing to let go of the story you've told yourself so far. And it's like you're breaking it down into its raw components, okay? Like you have the events, you know the timeline. This happened to me, then this happened to me, then this happened to me, and then this happened to me. But it's like you're kind of removing that layer of meaning that you've added to it so that you can look at it more objectively and let it be witnessed for what it is without any of the illusions on top of it, without any of the shadows that have been blocking it, right? Just let it be witnessed for what it is, and that's all, okay? And then the more you can do that and witness it yourself and let other people witness it, then the more you will understand why you had to go through what you had to go through, okay? But you can't rush to that point. So you're gonna have to kind of be okay with things not making sense for a while. You're gonna have to be okay with there not really being a clear meaning to some of the things that you've experienced. And let that kind of be okay for a while so that you can eventually rewrite everything you've been through, okay? So I hope that made sense. I hope that resonated with you. Thank you for watching group 2. Please like and subscribe if you liked this video, and leave a comment down below. And I'll see you again very soon. Goodbye. Okay, group 3, you guys chose Ocean Jasper. This is your reading. Like the other groups, I will be shuffling the cards on camera. And I will tell you what deck I'm using, because I did that for the other groups too. I am using the Raven's Prophecy Tarot by Maggie Stiefvater, who is one of my favorite authors. I really recommend her series, The Raven Cycle. Very good books. Okay, we already had a card fall out, so we'll go with that one. We'll draw 3 more. Whoa, okay. 1, 2. And, oops, okay, 3. Okay, group 3. What is the story of your life so far? So this first card is kind of representing who you are, the major themes of your life so far, right? If you could kind of put it in like a summary or a cliche genre kind of thing, what is the major themes? And so we have the 7 of Swords reversed. Okay, See that? So, so fingers crossing kind of makes me think of like people lying, you know, like when you're a kid and you're like, oh, I had my fingers crossed, so I didn't mean it, you know. And it being in reverse, I feel like your life, there's been a lot of secrets, there's been a lot of being lied to, being deceived, there's been a lot of thinking something is true only to find out that it isn't true, like, yeah, just a lot of deceit, a lot of pain around not knowing what is true, and a lot of, I mean, it's interesting because fingers crossing can also be like a sign of hope too. So it's like you, throughout it all, you always have hope, but it's like the hope always ends up with you kind of being deceived in a way. And so you kind of feel like you've been, or you feel resentful towards yourself for always hoping that something is going to work out, and then it turns out that it doesn't, or like people keep lying to you, or you just feel like there's a lot of dishonesty in your life, right? Or you feel like you don't even know how to discern what's true and what isn't true. There's a lot of confusion in your life, okay? A lot of confusion, a lot of mental confusion that you've experienced in your life, not really knowing who to trust, what is real, not being able to trust yourself, okay? So there's been a lot of that in your life so far, okay? So it's almost like your life has kind of been like a psychological thriller, I want to say, if I was going to put a genre to it, which I didn't do for the other ones. I should have, but it's like, you know, it's like you think one thing is true and the next minute it's like, oh, just kidding, you know. Gaslighting also, possibly, like people making you feel like what you perceive or you think is wrong or incorrect. Just a lot of confusion, a lot of dishonesty, okay? Major themes in your life. And then the second card is the main antagonistic force in your life, or the main struggles in your life, okay? And we have Temperance. Okay. Interesting. I feel like people try to calm you down. And a lot of times it's not for the right reasons, right? I feel like you are someone who can see and perceive a lot of things, right? You're kind of like the ocean. You have a very expansive view of truth and reality. And I feel like, you know, this card, like, I actually feel positive things from this card. I actually feel like a sense of like peace and calm, right? But I feel like it's been antagonistic to you because it's like people or things in your life have tried to force you to be calm, or force you to keep it contained, force you to temper yourself down, right? And so there's been, you know, certain people, maybe a specific person if you have one in mind, who have tried to calm you down, tried to, like, you know, keep you from freaking out. And maybe these people have lied to you or used deceitful or manipulative tactics on you because they wanted to kind of control you in a way, or they wanted to keep you contained, or like not contained in like a positive way, but like restrained, like they wanted to keep you like restricted. And I feel like that's not the truth of who you are, though. Like, you are this very expansive person, and the ocean is very expansive, and you can find a lot of calm in the chaos of movement. You're a person who finds a lot of calm in being free and being expressive and having this kind of endless unrestricted energy, right? Of being able to just go with the flow and like rage unrestricted like the ocean. But I feel like people only want you when you're calm, and maybe calmness is a part of you too, because if you think of water, there is water that can be very calm, right? Like this picture, you can be like a lake sometimes. You can be so still and so calm, and that's beautiful, right? But it feels like other people don't really see that you can also have all of this movement and this this kind of unrestricted energy. You know, they don't really see this full picture of who you are, and they only want you when you're in your calm state. They only want you when you're all cool, calm, and collected. They only want you when you are tempered down, okay? So, yeah, I feel like that's been kind of a real source of pain for you in your life. And I do feel like it's led to a lot of people being dishonest with you or making you be dishonest about yourself, because you can't really tell the truth of who you are, right? It's like people just want you to, like, you know, calm down or not be like your fullest self, and that's really annoying, right? Because this calmness is a part of you. Like, you can be this calm, serene person, and you have these beautiful moments where you feel that calmness in the present moment, right? But it's almost like people try to use that against you, or they try to like force you to feel a certain way, you know? I feel like there's a lot of people trying to force your emotions to be different than what they are, when like you are like the ocean, like you can't be controlled, right? But they try to control you, they try to temper you down, they try to make you calm, and that's not really working, right? It's not really going well. Okay. And then we have what you've been doing so far to kind of deal with these situations, and we have the Four of Swords. Okay. So I feel like this is kind of like a card of just kind of wanting to give up, right? It's almost like, you know, it's like you've been deceived so many times. You've been forced to like change who you are so many times, or been forced to like, I feel like there's been a lot of dishonesty that you have been forced into, to like lie about how you're feeling, or lie about your own sense of truth, okay? Actually, I do feel like the part of the antagonist in your life is this like idea of truth, because whatever idea of truth gets presented to you, it seems like there's always a twist to it, right? There's always a twist. There's always a twist in the truth. There's always a twist in this state of calm and relief. Like it doesn't really last, and that's what's frustrating to you. And so it almost feels like you kind of just want to give up, right? You just kind of want to let go, and just kind of surrender and just like give in to all of this pressure that it feels like you're feeling, to like just control yourself in some way. But it's like you it seems like you're tired of trying to do that, so you're just trying to give up that. You're trying to give up that control at this point, I feel like, which actually might be what you need to be doing. I feel like I feel like this kind of surrender actually is something that is beneficial to you right now, to kind of give up trying to like be perfect, or like have like this perfect sense of what your who you are. Like, and I really feel like there's a lot of frustration because it's like you never see eye to eye with people. Like, your version of reality or the truth of what happened in a relationship is always different from theirs. And it feels like you can't ever really hold on to your own ideas or your own perceptions, right? Your own emotions are made to be wrong a lot of times. So I feel like you're kind of just like wanting to I don't know, give up, because it feels like it's been a fight for you to like have to fight for your own sense of reality and like, no, this is what happened, I know this is what happened, but it's like people keep lying to you and you're just like, I don't know how to deal with that, right? So I'm just kind of giving up. And I do feel like emotionally this kind of ability to just like surrender can be beneficial for you, but you have to, like, it's not surrendering your control to another person or surrendering your own beliefs and your own perceptions, but rather surrendering your ability to control how other people react or how other people perceive you. That's kind of the thing that you're gonna have to surrender, is like, I can't control how other people perceive me. I can't control what they say to me. They might tell me I'm lying, but it's almost like you have to kind of like surrender your attachment to what they are saying and instead just like listen to yourself and like, you know, like, it doesn't matter what they say, because the truth is, emotionally, I'm lying here on the floor and this is how I feel, and that's just what I'm gonna have to deal with, you know? So I actually do feel like that sense of kind of like giving up, trying to fight to have your voice be heard, or like trying to fight to like be understood or to be a certain way. I feel like you try to like, I feel like you can be kind of controlling, because it's like you're trying to prevent yourself from being lied to again. You're trying to prevent yourself from being let down again. And I do feel like kind of giving up that control in a way can be beneficial to you. It's like, you know, you don't have to restrain yourself. You don't have to control yourself. You don't have to make yourself perfect. It's not going to change whether or not how people treat you. Like, it's not going to change whether or not people are honest with you, or whether or not people stay with you, whether or not they really see you and really hear you and understand you. That is not dependent upon your ability to be whatever they want you to be, or to be this like perfect version of yourself. You don't have to be cool, calm, and collected. You don't have to be serene all the time. That has nothing to do with whether or not people are honest with you or whether or not people stay with you. That has everything to do with them. So it's almost like you have to give up your control that you've put on yourself of like, I have to be this way so people don't lie to me. That's the thing that you're gonna have to kind of give up and surrender, because that has nothing to do with why people are being dishonest with you at all. That has everything to do with them. And the more controlling you are, like the more you're resisting that, then the more you're gonna be manifesting it, right? So if you kind of are just like, listen, I can't control them and what they do and what they say to me, but I'm just going to let myself be free, right? Let myself do whatever the fuck I want to do, and not restrain myself. If you can surrender to that, and it's going to be scary because you're not going to know how people are going to respond to that, but if you can surrender to that, I do feel like you will move towards a better place, okay? And then the last card, again, steps you can take, things you can do from here. We have the Page of Coins reversed. Okay. Oh shit, 1 second. Okay. I feel like you're gonna have to plant some seeds with relationships and with potential things in your life, and you're gonna have to be kind of diligent about who waters this seed. If that makes sense. It's like you're gonna have to be very diligent and discerning with who is watering your seeds. That sounds like a euphemism, which is not what I'm trying to say, but like with who is filling your cup, right? Who is giving you nurturance. You're gonna have to be very discerning about who you let in, okay? You don't want to neglect this little baby plant. You don't want to just leave it there to die. You don't want to just ignore it. You don't want to just, force it to all be on you to take care of it. You want to let other people in and let them nurture you, right? But you have to be very careful because some people, as you know, don't have your best interest at heart, and they can, they don't really want you for you, right? They only want you in your tempered down state. They only want you when you are in this persona of being this like super calm, chill person, or this like person who has it all figured out, or I feel like there's some kind of perfectionism tied into this group. You don't want those people around you who want you to be like that, okay? You don't want those people, the people who to be nurturing you, to be the people controlling you. You don't want, like if you're gonna water a plant, you're not like, it's not like you're like holding, like you're strangling the plant, like holding it and trying to like get it to grow in a certain way. It's like you're watering it and you're letting it grow however it's gonna grow. You're not trying to restrain it. So you want to let yourself be watered and nurtured by people who aren't going to try to restrain you or try to force you to be a certain way or try to deny your own sense of reality or deny what is best for you, right? You really want to be with people who are going to take your best interest at heart and who are going to listen to you. People who can listen to you is very important for this group, okay? People who can listen to you and actually hear you and actually know what you're saying and actually believe you, okay? Because there's a lot of people who don't like believe what you tell them or who don't really see your side of the story, and you can't be around those people anymore, okay? So you're gonna have to be very diligent and discerning with who you let water your seed of who you are, right? Who you let nurture your truth, who you let nurture your well-being, okay? You don't want to just neglect this little plant, but you need to be discerning with who you're going to let in, okay? I guess this could be a metaphor for your heart. Be discerning about who you let in to your heart, okay? Because the truth is you can't control whether or not people lie to you or whether they're honest with you or whether they understand you, but you do have a say over who gets to interact with you, right? And you can kind of take the baby steps, test the waters. Is this person going to nurture me? And then if they do, then you can keep letting them in. And then the second that they like cross a boundary and, they show you that they don't have your best interest, I mean, do what you can to try to work it out if that's an option for you. But if it seems like there's just an incompatibility there, then you say, okay, no, you got to take a step back. I'm not letting you in to try to control this little plant, right? I need space. You need space to grow. You need space to be unrestrained. You need to let go of these restraints you've put on yourself. If you're someone who tries to keep yourself really contained or restricted, and you put a lot of rules for yourself, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to be this way. You need to let go of that shit, okay? Because that has nothing to do with how people treat you. They are not going to treat you better if you are harsher on yourself, okay? It's actually going to have probably the opposite effect because of what you're going to be mirroring in your relationships. So you want to treat yourself kindly, and you want to let yourself be as free and open and unrestricted. And if you want to rage all over the place, and that's what you are gonna do, right? But you have to let yourself be, grow wherever you want to naturally grow, and stop trying to control who you are, and don't let yourself be in the presence of other people who want to control who you are either. Okay, let yourself be nurtured by people who actually give a shit and who actually are going to nurture you and help you grow where you want to grow. Okay, so thank you for watching group 3. I hope that gave you some clarity, that you got something from it. Please like and subscribe if you liked this video, and leave a comment down below, and I'll see you again very soon. Thank you. Namaste.